What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. We have some interesting information that PGR released on their Twitter page yesterday, which is this right here. Now, this is pretty damn cool, right? There's going to be 4 of these little pages. I really wish they wouldn't have these like narrow, long pages. It really kind of makes it a pain in the butt to edit in your videos. But, hopefully, I'm doing this video a little bit different than what I've done these types of videos before. So hopefully it's going to come out all right. But, in this first page, they're pretty much just talking about the Eternal engine, right? And how they wanted it to be different and look really cool. And, they're talking about how the combat, they wanted to bombard our players with different visual experiences of every major update, which is pretty awesome. By the way, I really love these kinds of things from dev teams because it means like they're giving us their feedback from listening to us about our complaints in the game. So this is actually something really cool about this. I like the dev teams actually talking to their players so that way they can make a much more reliable game, a much more fun game for all of us to play. Really, really nice. Now, whether they actually listen to our complaints, that will remain to be seen, but let's read on. Let's check it out. So, they just talk about the story. Like this first page, just has, information about how they wanted the Eternal Engine to be different. They want these updates to have more visual experiences, look cooler, and so on and so on. But now we get to the second one here, which is they're talking about the character design. Bianca and Sophia, obviously the ones that were recently introduced into the Eternal Engine event. And, obviously Bianca, being an insane lightning-based character. Sophia, a bit underwhelming, I think, for most players, but still a good character to have on your fire team. But, they just talk about their, like, storylines and, what they went through. And then they talk about the version sneak peek. Now, I believe the next sneak peek is Kowloon, if I'm pronouncing that right. Hopefully I did. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But, we pretty much have a roadmap of all of the updates that we're going to be getting because, this game's been out for a long time prior to the global release of the game. We got Japan, Taiwan. We have the CN version, which is the older version of the game. So we pretty much know what's going to be coming. We just don't know the time frames of how long each of these updates is actually going to last. And then we get into this one here. Now, this is pretty interesting to me because, oh, and of course, don't forget the holidays. Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, special holiday events await, and some fresh stuff are on their way. Talking about festivals. Someone may ask, what about Xmas or Lantern Memories? Where are those festive weapons? As mentioned in the last 2 mess hall blogs, we will adjust some schedules for them to be more suitable. Calm down and breathe easy. Take a deep breath. By the way, do you wait patiently for our version update roadmap? So now the way that I read this, a roadmap. So hopefully they give us a roadmap of how long each of these updates will actually last. So that way it'll better prepare all of you and myself for the upcoming updates. We'll know exactly like, how much of certain materials we need to farm. We'll know how long banners are actually going to last, so you can actually estimate or figure out how many black cards you can actually acquire during that actual banner. So, I mean, that's really, really good stuff to see. And they said they're going to be revealing it, which is great when the time comes. Hey, oh, ominous sounds. Aside from that, we've been listening to your ideas and suggestions, which is always good to hear. The dev team has been going over them. Now we'll try to answer some of the most frequently asked questions. So this is actually really interesting. So we're talking about Pain Cage and Warzone Instant Retry button. This is something that a lot of players have been requesting, and it is something that's going to come in the future of the game. But players, you get a little impatient, right? You're trying to get the best scores in Pain Cage. You're trying to do all these one-shots if you're able to do them. You're trying to, get the best scores in Warzone, so you're always retrying. You got to click the button, hit another button, and it's just really annoying, right? You just want to hit one button, start again. And that's what players are asking for. And they're letting us know that, they are going to do it. But, like currently, however, adding a retry function would involve a lot of changes to the game code. And that's something people need to understand. You do have game coding in these games, and it's not so easy just to up and fix and up and change in just one update. They've done it, gradually through all the updates. They've done all these changes, and they're doing global the exact same way to make sure that we don't have a bunch of freaking bugs and a bunch of freaking problems. And honestly, I would rather have quality over quantity, I guess, if you will. Not exactly, but you get what I mean. We want our updates to be as less buggy as possible. So, I mean, what's the point of having a retry button if we're going to have a bunch of bugs? And that's really what they're addressing here. And just saying, look, the retry button will definitely arrive before spring. So that gives you an idea of the time frame of how whenever that is actually going to show up in the game. So just please bear with them and wait a little longer. So that's what I would ask everybody. Just kind of kick back, wait a little bit. We'll eventually get it, man. It's not going to be a big deal. And then they talk about emulators. Now, this is something I'm definitely interested in because I play on emulator, and I know a lot of other players do, because this is a game that, you really want to play with controllers. Well, I do. Some people like to play with a keyboard, which I actually have as well, keyboard and mouse. I mean, we like playing on our PC, right? Because you got this nice big screen, on a mobile device, on your telephone, everything's so little. And in this game with these animations, you just want to see everything that's going on. For all you mobile players, shout out to you. But man, I'm telling you, if you can play on an emulator, I would highly advise it. Moo or LD Player both work really, really well. But they said they noticed that a surprisingly large number of PGR global players are playing on emulator for obvious reasons that I just explained. So we've been looking into making the emulator experience better for our players. That's exciting. Quite a number of commandments have mentioned that the game freezes in shooting mode of certain emulators. BlueStacks and LD Player. See, I don't know about BlueStacks and LD Player because I play on Moo. I don't have this problem. My game never freezes. Every once in a great while, it might crash, but it is very rare. It doesn't happen very often. Usually for me, when it crashes, is when I'm actually streaming the game, right? So my computer is streaming the game, doing all the encoding, and then running the emulator all at the same time. When we got, like in Babel Tower, where there's tons of animations going on, and it's still rarely, like it usually, like, it doesn't even do it during a stream. It's just rare that it even shuts down. So I'm not really facing this freezing problem. We'd have to admit that in the early development stages of PGR, we didn't take into account certain special control modes of emulators because it's developed for a mobile device. That's why. You know that PGR isn't exactly an FPS game, yes. So the underlying code is going to be a bit incompatible. Another reason people like to play on emulators, especially Moo, is because, like on my device, I can play 120 FPS, right? That's freaking nice, man. That is nice. So we go to the last page here where they say, fortunately, we have already found some solutions to the problem and are currently testing it in-house, which is good to know that they're trying to work on the emulator problems that people are having with LD Player and BlueStacks. And they have also been cooperating with emulator devs to see what they can do about it. If you've encountered any issues while using an emulator, please feel free to contact the customer service of the emulator provider as well. Co-op. Now, co-op is something that I don't play a lot, and it's going to be for the reasons they talk about in here. A lot of players have voiced their concerns about the co-op rewards. If you have more feedback, feel free to drop them on the official Discord game feedback channel. Due to the time restrictions, some of the players have missed the time co-op accumulated rewards. To this, our dev team has decided to change it so that on a weekly co-op reset, any unclaimed rewards will be sent to your in-game mail. This change should be implemented within 3 months at max. So that's pretty cool, man. You can play co-op and you'll get the rewards for the entire week, which is nice. And as for the lag and latency issues in co-op, they have to admit that it's still a difficult problem to fix. And I gotta salute Kuro Games for admitting the problem, right? They're admitting it, they're trying to fix it, they're trying to work on it, but it's not an easy problem to fix. We're all on different servers, we play in different countries, and it's just really difficult to, I guess, figure out all this encoding. I mean, co-op is really awesome, but only if you're not having all those lag issues and desyncs and things like that, which unfortunately happens a lot in co-op. It's very annoying to play. I mean, and it sucks because it's a game mode you want to play with your friends, right? You want to play with your buddies or your buddettes, and you can't have a really solid experience because the game's constantly, either, like, it doesn't crash for me, but for some players it does crash, or you get the desyncs, or you get the insane lag, and lag really does ruin a game, especially a game like this. But they are, apologizing for the inconvenience it does cause all of us. And, of course, there are also tons of QOL, or quality of life changes, suggestions that we saw from the community: dorm name length limits, construct interactions, auto clear functions, codex system social media content, and so on, so on, so on. We all hear you due to the real world limitations, which, of course, we're talking about the good old pandemic. They might take some time to go online. But for any suggestions that we find reasonable and doable, we'll definitely be trying to get them implemented. After all, commandment, your words are our fuel, our helium-3 to keep the PGR train running. Nice. And well then, that about sums it up for this issue. Thanks for being patient with us. Until next time, wink wink from Nana Me. So, pretty damn awesome, honestly. Very, very exciting to hear all of that news. I'm actually really stoked for, all these upcoming changes and the things that the game's going to be getting in the future. And, I've said this before about this game multiple times. The game just gets better and better and better as time goes by. We get better bosses. We get more added story modes. They increase the black cards. I mean, you're going to get more black cards from the story modes, obviously, and from the interludes from all the new characters. In the future, we're going to have like weapon skins as well as, the skins for the characters that we already have. I mean, there's lots of changes that's going to be coming in the future. And personally, I can't wait. So let me know how y'all feeling about what the dev team had to say. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.